this will be the front end portion of the facial recognition system. So instead of having that standard webcam which you saw in the first video which I posted, um, where we actually show the user the his face and then it recognizes it, so I wanted to make it a bit more interesting. So I have this cool little animation, this eye like animation, and if I open my dev tools right here, you can see that behind the scenes it's actually taking the images. So if I copy one of those images and go in here, paste it right here, you should see my you should see my picture while I was talking, so it's kind of weird. So this was one of the pictures it took. So if I show you how it looks when the user first enters this page, so it looks kind of like this, and when I click this little eye icon here, you can see that it starts playing and now it starts taking images. So it should take 5 images and then stop. So the idea was to take 5 different images of the user and send it to the backend, and the Python model would extract the best features among the 5 images and recognize the user. Again, it just takes 5 and it stops. And if I copy one of those messages that I console logged earlier, you can see yeah, my it's taken my image right here. So I'll show you how we'll go over the code on how I did this, and yeah, let us just continue to the code. So this is the code right here. So this is the mono repo. You can see we have the backend, front end, and the Flask server. So let us just go over the front end because that is the main aspect of this video. So you can see this is the main page, page.tsx. I have a face login component which consists of two other components called the my webcam and Rive canvas, right? So my webcam is this similar to how it was in the first video. So this just defines a webcam from React webcam package, and we just turn it on in here. That's it. So you can see here we pass in the props to turn it on. It doesn't do much. It's not very interesting, and probably the main thing over here is this right here. So opacity 0. So what we're doing in this right here is behind this, it's actually two components. So behind this is my webcam, and I've turned the opacity to 0 so that we don't need to show the user his image. So that's probably it, opacity 0. And what we do is we basically overlay the Rive canvas on top of the my webcam. So yeah, so in here we have the capture function. So what this basically does is it takes the image of the user and console logs it out for now. Later on we'll probably write the logic for storing the 5 images and sending to the backend, but this is just for the demonstration purposes to show you what the image looks like. So let us go to the more interesting part, which is this component right here, which is called Rive canvas. So again, this is installed from this package right here, which is called @rive app react canvas. So this is the component, how it looks like. But let me talk a little bit on what this Rive is actually about. So Rive is a tool that allows us to create all these cool kind of animation in our web app, and I believe it's relatively easier than most animation softwares. It's yeah, you can see all these different demos in here. Yeah, so yeah, you can see it's you can build all sorts of things with this, but let's just show you how it works. So let me go to get started in here, let it load, and yeah. So yeah, so this is how it should look like, the dashboard. So what I did was I basically created I pressed plus, and we have this 5 different starter templates which we can use and build upon it. So luckily I found this one which is called cursor tracking, which is already pre-built for us. So if I open this right here and I click create, it should create one. Let me just wait for some time. Okay, for some reason it's not creating, but for y'all I maxed out my limits on the free trial. Okay, so you just press create and it should create the template for you. So if I click here, see, so this is one of, I was playing around it with it, so I have two of the same kind. This is how it should look when you first enter this page. So you can see this eye icon with this artboard right here, and if I click on this animate tab here, it should pop up a new tab below our window. And if I click on state machines and if I click on play, you can see all these different inputs. So if I click one of those, so let me go to preview. So preview should already be built for you. So what I did was I just double click this and click duplicate, and I was just playing around on how it should look like. So if I go to one of those, so and play, you can see this plays right here. So what I did was I just played around with the keyframes for the movement of the eye. So what I did was in this move, the starting, I just changed the location, like the position, sorry, and I played. I stopped again, and in this time, which is 1 second, I moved it right here. So now if I go back here, it should move the position of the eye. So again, in this, if in the 2 second time frame, I move the eye and go back right here, you can see it starts moving. Yeah, so that's what I basically did. I didn't go for creating even more complex animations because frankly speaking it would take too much time, and I was, yeah, just to do actually just to do this positioning of the eye took me probably an hour. I was just figuring how things work. But a YouTuber called Developed by Ed has a very good video on this. He goes over the basics of how this you can create all this animation. I'll just leave a link for his video down below. So that's basically it. And after creating a duplicate of the preview, and this was, I think, how it looked finally. So if I go back here, yeah, so this was how it looked towards the end. You can see here I created all these different animation. It's probably preview 3 which I ended up using. Yeah, so what I did was after creating the one which I was satisfied with, I went to state machines right here, and you can see this is how we can link all these different animations together. So we have icon pressed on off. You should have the same thing. So in the blink tab, what I did was you should have this blink button kind of thing right here. So what I did was I just dragged my preview right here and I linked it up, linked the blink with preview 3. That's all I did, and everything just seemed to work. So if I click again play right here, if I click on the icon, you can see it this canvas right here moves. So that's what I did. And the other change which I made was in this new artboard, what I did was I changed the aspect ratio to the width 1920 and height 1080. You can also change the background color if you want, so you can make it red or you could make it transparent. It's all up to your creativity, but I left it at white. So that's what I did, and I just downloaded this. So the way you download it is just press this icon right here, press download, and for runtime RIV, right? So it should download a file for you called cursor tracking, and just rename this to whatever you feel is appropriate. So yeah, so that's basically it for this part. So let me go back over to the code. So yeah, so in here we use the use Rive hook and extract the and just put in the Rive component, and you put in all the configuration. So the source, so the file which you downloaded, you put it into the public folder, and I renamed it to i.riv. Never mind this, I'll probably delete this. I was checking out all the other templates as well, so this is one among them. So yeah, so i.riv, just put in your public folder and mention the path to it, And this is also quite important. I've got an error because I was putting in the wrong state machine and the artboard. So if I go back to my Google Chrome, so you should put in the name of this artboard over there, new artboard, and also the state machine. So mine is just called state machine 1. So I think this is by default, and it's also by default. So you just mention that over here, and yeah, so that's probably it for the use Rive hook. And yeah, so in the Rive component right here, if you just put this Rive component, you should see that the eye icon, and if you click it, it should start animating it. So what I did was I put in an on click listener on this Rive component and defined a function called handle capture photo. So inside this function, what we do is we see if is webcam on, which basically sees whether the webcam is on or not, and if it's on, we just exit out of this function. So this is just a check, and we, if it is not on, we set the webcam to on, true. And again, this is where we take multiple photos of the user. So I use the set interval web API. We trigger the capture function, and this capture count is a variable that tracks how many times this capture function should trigger. So in our case, every time this function triggers, I increment the capture count, and once it hits 5, we turn the webcam off. We clear the interval, because whenever you're subscribing to a web API, it is always a good idea to clear the interval, because then it would just create memory leaks. So just clear, just unsubscribe to the events which you've subscribed to, the web APIs. And yeah, so we define the time, so every 2 seconds keep triggering the interval and run this capture function. And yeah, so and we use the use effect to basically clean out our interval. Yeah, so we clean, we unsubscribe to it, and we clear the interval. So yeah, so that's basically it for this video. These are all the important things, I believe. And if you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, so this is it for the front end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. A quick update: all the code which was shown earlier can be found in this repository called face detection system, and it's under this branch called F animation. So if you want all the changes which was shown in this video, just check out to this branch F animations, and you'll find it all there. All right, thanks.